TF2 in VR. What comes to mind when you think about it? Meat Fortress, an update for hot dogs, horseshoes and hand grenades, which released on June 28, 2019. A great remaster of TF2's guns and gameplay in fully immersive virtual reality. Shoot sausage versions of the popular TF2 mercs in a big original map with the guns you know and love being more realistic than ever. And there's already a really good video by Archimedes on it. But this isn't what I'll be talking about today. In fact, this story begins almost 7 years earlier. August 1st, 2012. The Pyromania update had been out for a couple months at this point. Players were getting more and more excited about Valve's next big update, and the Kickstarter project of a very promising device was released to the public. The Oculus Rift, the first truly immersive VR headset for video games. The idea gains lots of traction, surpassing its initial goal of $250,000 within just 24 hours. And of course, Valve wants a piece of that sweet, sweet innovation cake. So a couple months later, on March 19th, 2013, a new update released for the flagship multiplayer game Team Fortress 2. Among fixing some strange parts, disabling Java for the in-game browser, and of course, how else could it be, updating the localization files, there was a new addition. Added support for running VR mode on the Oculus Rift. TF2 had just become the first ever video game to officially support the Oculus Rift. In addition to that, anyone who either pre-ordered an Oculus Rift dev kit or backed the Kickstarter campaign in any way got themselves an exclusive cosmetic, and it looks really friggin' cool. Almost 2 months later, on May 20th, VR mode was brought to macOS, and on October 29th, VR mode was released for Linux, together with a couple quality of life changes. Almost another month after that, VR mode was updated to allow the usage of VR headsets with a higher resolution. On April 1st the next year, they added a quality of life change that would start TF2 in VR mode when Steam was in VR mode. But then, over a year later, in the December of 2015, the last change was made. Now, VR mode has been removed from the options menu and can be only accessed by using -VR in the launch options. So, for over 5 years, VR mode has been abandoned. Despite added support for higher resolutions than the Oculus Rift dev kit, it hasn't been updated to work with newer hardware. Which means it was incredibly difficult for me to get this thing to work. I own an Oculus Rift S, which was released in May of 2019, more than 6 years after the original Oculus Rift dev kit for which TF2's VR mode was made. It was clear from the start that it wouldn't work right away. And then I found a guide from last year, which didn't work anymore. So here I am, doing my own little thing, and I bought a piece of software called Virtual Desktop, which cost me $15. So, create a custom resolution at 2560 by 1440, download an old version of Steam VR using Depot Downloader, open Steam, go to TF2, set the launch options to -VR, and disable Use Desktop Game Theater when Steam VR is active. Then, putting on the Rift S, open Steam VR, open Virtual Desktop, going to the system settings, system display, changing the monitor's resolution, and then change the frame rate of the monitor to 80 Hz. You can go back to Steam, select TF2, dragging it to the left side of the screen, dragging Virtual Desktop on the right side of the screen, enabling headlock and no delay, hitting Y on the controller to recenter the window, then turning on full SPS and finally starting TF2. And then hitting OK on the pop-up that appears. I have to repeat most of these steps if I want to start TF2 in VR mode. But now that is out of the way, let's get into the key differences. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the FOV is pretty limited, and the weapon view models are huge. Everything is in first person, including taunts, including sandwich. Finally, I can live my dream of eating unlimited sandwiches all day. Or I can pretend to get drunk. Or slap my ass. The possibilities are almost endless. As you can see, there's still a crosshair that you control with your mouse. if you look far enough to either the right or the left you turn. However, the same does not happen for up and down. You need to physically tilt your head up and down to be able to look straight up or onto the floor. While moving the crosshair to the side also moves your FOV and turns your character, moving your head around IRL does not affect the crosshair, which means that you can check your back while building a dispenser. Also, your WASD movement is tied to your IRL head rotation, not your character rotation, which makes navigating the map a lot more intuitive. So, after all this, you may be thinking, is it even remotely a good idea to play the game like this? No, it's really bad. Here's 10 reasons why. The default HUD makes it impossible to see health, ammo and uber percentage since those are stuck on the corners. Chat is so tiny that I can't even read a single word. The limited FOV and massive view models massively reduce my situational awareness. Having to physically look around makes my incredibly insane tunnel vision even worse. It is way too easy to lose the crosshair because it's so small. The extreme vertical aim lock. Rocket jumping is almost impossible. Motion sickness. I hope you're prepared to hit the wrong buttons all the time. Sniper is impossible to play, except with the Huntsman. And finally, I can't type at all in VR mode because I never learned how to type without looking at my keyboard. And now, a fully unscripted segment with me playing casual in VR mode. Alright gamers, we've reached the fun part of the video. The part where I get to absolutely suffer while playing in actual VR mode. And casual. As you can see, I adjusted my name. There we go. I don't have a black one, which would be more color accurate, but it's close enough. Well then, without further ado, let's go. And we have a bot, nice. How very fun. Alright, we're gaming. We're in VR. Let's go.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Let's go.
Good work. Thank you.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
So time to just
4, 3, 2, 1.
switch out a live demo. Let's go. Oh, this is scary. Oops. This is a mess and a half, to say the least. What? Do not kick me, please. I'm just horrible. That's funny. Oh, is it a impersonated bot? Yes, it is a impersonated bot. Well. Pog. 5 kill streak in VR. Get gamered. Well then. That went better than expected. This certainly is, oh god. This is scary. And I'm dead. I mean, I never said that this would actually work. And we're out of here.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
It's me, TF2VR Gaming. Yes, go. Let's go, boy. Woo! He's going. Look at him go. He's so happy. Let's go. Let's get you back up to health. Pyro. Let's go. Ah! How am I not dead? I am dead. This cannot be good for my neck. But I'm having fun. That was a crit. And I'm dead. I have been backstabbed, I assume. But I am almost top scoring as VR medic. How is this happening?
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
I almost died to a fish. And now I'm dead to a heavy. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Highest kill streak as TF2 VR Gaming. You've been gamered by a VR man. Alright then, gamers. As you've seen, it is a lot of fun. The immersion really works incredibly well. It is so amazing. And do I recommend that you try this? If you want to, by all means, go ahead. While it is incredibly difficult to play effectively, it is a really nice experience. And I'm glad that I got this to work in 2021. With all that being said, thank you all very much for watching. Subscribe to see more, ring the notification bell. Follow me on Twitch. I stream video games there sometimes, and I have a TF2's stream coming up in the near future, so be excited for that. Also, join my Discord if you want to stay updated and get very epic pings whenever I drop new content. And also, big shoutouts to all of these amazing people who support me financially, and therefore pretty much enable me to do more of this shit. Y'all are epic. And now, I will leave you with a very nice outro, with Medic just playing the beautiful accordion.
Shall we?